Hello, everybody. My name is Stefan, and I'm happy to talk a little bit about what's going on with online video at the moment and what's disrupting and what's not. So, online video had a really crazy growth over the last couple of years. Like from 2017 to 2022, the volume of internet video skyrocketed. Nowadays, we have like 82% of all video on the internet, of all traffic on the internet being video. That's pretty crazy. Like 4 out of 5 bits delivered are video, and there's so much content being produced nowadays. In 30 days, there's more content being uploaded to online video offerings than was produced by the media industry over the last 30 years. And we spend more and more time consuming this video. Like when I watch some more or less meaningful videos on Facebook and other platforms, that aggregates to 100 minutes of consumption. And that also influences my behavior. I retain a lot more of the information that I watch consumed by video. And I also am more willing to buy products that are promoted by video. So video is becoming a really dominant form of communication that's going beyond media and entertainment. It's entering a lot of other spaces. And that's something where we see a lot of disruption happening in various spaces. Media companies are becoming something else, becoming hardware companies like Sky, for example. B2B software companies suddenly become streaming companies. Salesforce launches their own streaming service. If you think Home Depot is just a home improvement store, check out their video. You can actually learn a lot about woodwork and other things in terms of what they have as a streaming service to their customers. We see a humongous trend. I mean, social media picked it up over the last 5 years the same way. I mean, the future of social media is video. TikTok is showing that quite significantly. And like every social media app, shall it be Reddit or Pinterest or everybody else, sees video as the future of their business. So video really becomes in some way like the replacement of HTML. Like video becomes such more effective in terms of a communication media than text ever can be. You can transmit more information in a better way, and you can recall a lot more of this information afterwards. So why I'm talking about that? I'm co-founder and CEO of a company that provides infrastructure for video. We are kind of like the engineers in the background who make like the biggest streaming services out there work. We are kind of geeks, so I'm not the most charming presenter that you're going to see today. But we came out of research and standardization. We built compression standards and streaming standards. And considering that 82% of all infrastructure for the internet worldwide is video, that's a pretty awesome exercise. Like if you can optimize like 82% of the internet, I think that's a pretty cool business to be in. And I'm talking today a little bit what we are seeing in terms of transformation in the market and disruption in the market. We love disruption. I mean, you see the growth rates of video, but we also see the markets being disrupted. I mean, Netflix is a great example for what happens in the media industry. And the media industry is a very traditional industry. We know our telcos, we know our cable providers and broadcasters and movie studios. And that's a $600 billion industry that's like completely changing at the moment. Compare it to the newspapers maybe a few years ago, like 15 years ago. Compare it to the music industry 10 years ago. We are right now in the middle for the media and entertainment industry. Like Disney, for example, follows the model of Netflix, direct to consumer. Disney never had a direct consumer relationship. They always went through distributors and broadcasters. They completely changed their model over the last years. And every broadcaster is currently doing the same. Direct-to-consumer services, everybody who has content is changing the business model. Everybody who hasn't content and traditionally distributed content, like telcos, for example, an IPTV provider or a satellite provider, has to seriously rethink what's the business model going forward. And a lot of this market is in disruption because, like, yeah, they have to step up the game. They have to be on more devices. They have to provide higher quality, and they have to also, in like many use cases, provide lower latency, because there's a competition going on at the moment about streaming users and eyeballs. And if video doesn't play in the best quality in your device, you're gone. If your startup time as a social media company is too long, your users are gone, your attention span is gone. If the quality is not there, your users are gone. If you are on your Peloton and like you're at the final move of your last increase and you're like really reaching your goal and the video stalls, you're not going to be happy. And if your neighbor is like applauding and cheering for the like goal that his favorite team scored, and you're still 30 seconds behind on your stream, you're also not going to be happy. So there are a lot of things that need to be considered when like adding video to an offering out there. So in addition to the media industry, we see also that there is a lot of additional industries popping up. So health and fitness, the speaker after me has a health and fitness app, and like those things are adding video to their offering. I mean, especially over the last 18 months during the pandemic, this sector in particular exploded. I mean, we all know the known Pelotons of the world, but there are so many like mental health apps for meditation and health and safety out there. There are so many fitness offerings and sports offerings out there. When we go into education, that's a complete change that happened in terms of how we educate. Already before the pandemic, if you sign up for your online MBA, there's like a lot of training involved. Corporates are investing so much in their internal communication, in their internal training. Like the biggest companies out there, Unilever produces more content to train their employees than Netflix has in their catalog. And that shows again just the amount and the size of this business. A lot of other verticals out there, faith, for example, especially during the pandemic, but also before already. Esports and gaming is a tremendously big market. I mean, Twitch is showing how it's happening, but we see so much more. I mean, there are like a lot more platforms like Twitch out there, and pretty much every gaming studio now builds their own Twitch. It's pretty interesting to see. Now let's double click on one of those verticals. Health and fitness is one of the things that we really see exploding at the moment. ClassPass is a great example. So they started their online video offering in addition to the like physical classes that they provide to their users as a side business. So you could sign up for online classes in addition to the physical ones that you're doing. And they did that already years ago. And like they became so fortunate to have this business up and running when the pandemic hit. Suddenly, the main business switched from physical classes to online video offerings. And I think that's a tremendous change of business models that happened. A lot of fitness studios needed to change the business model. A lot of professional trainers, a lot of professional educators changed the business model. You can take online learning classes for languages, for coding skills, and so many things. So I think it's a great example how companies changed over the last 18 months. Not all of that is going to stay. I totally get it. But a lot of it is going to stay. We saw an adoption of these new use cases. People are using that. New startups are popping up left and right. And the ones that are existing for a longer time amplified so much. And ClassPass is a good example for that. And Peloton is the next bigger example for that. I mean, the tremendous success that those guys had over the last years, pre-pandemic and during the pandemic and also post-pandemic, is amazing. And all built around video. And we are going to see similar disruptors in many other categories. Shall it be learning? Shall it be like gaming or education or like also communication? I mentioned a very traditional company like Home Depot. I mean, those guys have a pretty good home improvement online video service. Salesforce starts an online video service for sellers and for business people. I mean, that's pretty interesting how that becomes an integral part of the brands and the strategies of those companies. And I think that's what I want to convey as a takeaway from this session. Don't mistake video as a media and entertainment topic. Video becomes a communication topic. And video becomes therefore also an essential part of your brand, of your app, of your interaction with customers. We see so many use cases, like even if you're a financial app, you somehow have to train your users. If you are working in customer support, you can record like the path to a solution and share it with a customer and provide much better service to them. You can really use video in a very interesting and value producing way for the users. And I think that's the exciting time we're in, and we are going to see a lot more video being a first-class citizen of so many use cases. Thank you so much.